Hello, and welcome to this presentation of the instructional model for SASD and collaborative learning. In this presentation, we'll identify the key factors to consider when planning for and preparing students for group work. We'll also analyze the measures that will help ensure that the process and products of group tasks will result in active learning for all group members. In the collaborative learning phase of the GRR instructional framework, students are expected to apply the skills and knowledge they've been taught and to turn to one another for support and enrichment. There are a number of different instructional strategies and procedures used to ensure that students collaborate productively, but the key factor is that students assume increased responsibility for their learning and the learning of their peers. The teacher's role shifts in this phase to target specific student needs through guided instruction. There's a real difference in the types of tasks students might engage in during collaborative learning. Some tasks are best described as basic group work, while others can be best described as productive group work. In basic group work, the goal is for students to share their own ideas, such as in a classic think, pair, share activity. By contrast, in productive group work, there is always a product. Accountability is at both group and individual levels, and the goal of the work centers around resolving problems, reaching consensus, or identifying solutions. Collaborative learning is different from cooperative learning. Cooperative learning focuses on the social processes used by the group, while collaborative learning focuses on the cognitive and metacognitive nature of learning that occurs within the group. There are 5 key features of collaborative learning. Positive interdependence is a key component in collaborative learning. This means that each member of the group has an important role in the overall success of the task. Another key component is face-to-face interaction. In order for collaborative learning to be effective, students must have opportunities to interact face-to-face, to teach one another, and to discuss ideas and concepts. Possibly the most important and vital component of collaborative learning is individual and group accountability. In order to ensure productive group work, teachers need to hold both groups and individuals accountable for the overall product. To avoid classroom management issues and group conflict, students must possess and use interpersonal and small group skills. Requisite social skills needed by the group members include leadership, the ability to build trust between members, and the ability to engage in active listening in order to collaboratively complete an assignment. At the end of a collaborative learning task, it is important that group members have time to process their work. The group should discuss their progress and indicate any needed adjustments to their processes that will improve future group productivity. The following video features a teacher using the collaborative poster strategy to engage your students. As you watch the video, look for the different key elements of collaborative learning within the lesson.
We're going to be working on the collaborative poster that we've done before. Let me remind you the process of the collaborative poster. I will be giving each group a prompt, a card with a prompt on it. Each person will have a different color marker. Each person must contribute to the poster in writing. So I will know whether or not you've contributed by the color of your marker. You have to use an explanation of the process you use. That is going to be working with our language goal of explaining your thought process and your reasoning from step to step. And lastly, each person's going to sign the poster. You will be writing a proof, so let me review with you the process of writing a proof. Your first line is always the given, and what is your last line?
Prove what you're trying to prove.
What you're trying to prove. So what you're asked to prove here is the last line. I would like you to make sure to title your poster. Make sure to write the title down, and you will know the title by what you're trying to prove. Now let me ask you a clarifying question. If you figured out that your proof is some theorem, whatever theorem that is, can you use it on the right side of your proof?
No.
Right, the given.
Measure of angle 5 and measure of angle 6 equals 180. That's what we're trying to prove. See?
What else is true about 5?
It's also internal of 3.
Right. So now if you have this adding up to 180, and this one is the same as this one, and this one's the same as this one, then you know that these add up to 180.
Okay.
That's the reasoning you want in your proof.
I don't know.
When you know that they're congruent, what does that tell you? How does that help you in your proof? 5 and 3 are congruent. What does that tell you? What does that? Yeah, they're the same measure. Good. And why do you want to even bring that up?
Because we want to know that this is correct. So if this is the same measure, and then if you add that, if this equals 180 and this is the same measure, and then when you add all this up,
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why. So that's the reason why you bring these in. And that's what the reasoning, that's the kind of thoughts I want you to write down.
we were proving interior sum theorem, and so we figured if 1, 2, and 3 were congruent, were supplementary, then and these lines are parallel, then 4 and 1 are congruent, and 5 and 3 are congruent too.
I would like you to talk to your group and discuss one thing that you are more comfortable with after today's activity than you were when you walked in the door.
We learned that ABC forms a triangle, gave or first given. We learned 2 ways to get 180.
We understand that about the alternate interior angles, and then how to substitute, and how to find the proven angles.
I understood the how you're supposed to match those to the definitions and alternative interior angles.
And you were able to find and use the measures of sides of interior and exterior angles of triangles to solve problems. We are also working on the language goal, which was to explain your reasoning, which was part of the collaborative poster. Many of you are becoming more comfortable with explaining the logic between each line and why you would move from one line to the next.
How can a teacher hold groups and individuals accountable during collaborative learning? Why is it so important to do so? What role does guided instruction play in collaborative learning? Why is it important to give students time to process and reflect on their progress, their learning, and productivity within their groups? What are some group work routines you already use or want to use during collaborative learning? Why is it important to have specialized routines and procedures for group work? Collaborative learning allows students to refine their thinking about new concepts and skills. Individual and group accountability are the hallmarks of productive group work. In the collaborative learning phase of the GRR, students assume increased responsibility for their learning and the learning of their peers. The teacher's role shifts to target specific needs through guided instruction. Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the instructional model for SASD and collaborative learning. This has been a production of the SASD Office of Academics.